Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
We begin tonight with breaking news as one person is dead after a shooting with law enforcement in Alexandria, Minnesota. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. We're told it happened in the 300 block of 4th Avenue East today in Alexandria. The police chief there says the BCA was conducting an undercover operation involving the solicitation of minors. Now, during the course of the operation, 2 BC agents fired their weapons, killing 1 person at the scene. No officers were injured, and at the request of the BCA, the police in St. Paul will conduct the investigation of the officer-involved shooting there.
Yeah, I think if there's a public event going on, you'd want to spray after it's all finished and people have dispersed.
On a night when upwards of 100 block parties are planned in the FM area alone, Vector Control is causing quite the buzz by spraying. If you're planning on being outside for the annual Night to Unite event, is it safe to be outside during mosquito spraying? Well, Valley News Team's Christine Stanwood found out.
I wouldn't want to be exposed to the chemicals directly, so I'd rather stay indoors when they're spraying.
And that's why one city decided it would be best not to spray for mosquitoes this evening.
We did have some issues with scheduling, of course, a large community event, so we have pulled back in at least one community at this point. And that would be the city of Moorhead has postponed their aerial spraying for a future date.
According to Ben Prather, the director of Vector Control, the day that is scheduled to spray is always calculated.
We have very objective measurements on what we do when we make our observations for our trap counts, when we can fly the airplane, what kinds of wind speeds and temperatures and all of that, whether there's a threat of rain affects that.
So Moorhead said no to spraying. Will the people in Fargo be harmed from the spraying at the Night to Unite event?
A lot of people are worried about having the chemicals come into their system when you guys are spraying. Is there a cause for concern?
Absolutely not. We've used this particular insecticide, which is pyrethroid, numerous times. You know, year after year, we've used this particular active ingredient and have had 0 adverse effects with that.
And if somebody's out eating a hot dog, it's okay? And it
yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. You know, just as an example, permethrin is the same active ingredient that you would apply to children for head lice.
Prather goes on to explain that in the chemicals used in spraying for mosquitoes, toxic levels are extremely low.
The likelihood of anybody having any sort of adverse effect or having any complications from that I would say, are minuscule.
If it is not necessary to spray, we should not spray. It should not be done.
Even if the chemicals aren't harmful, it's probably better for the public's mind, ease of mind, better safe than sorry.
In Fargo, Christine Stanwood, Valley News Live.
Moorhead Mayor Delray Williams says that she knows the spray is safe, but there was concern raised and questions asked. She says spraying in Moorhead has been rescheduled for Friday. As for Fargo and West Fargo, sprayers are scheduled to be out from 7:30 to 11 tonight. Early bird campers are setting up for the 34th annual Wee Fest at the Sioux Pass Ranch near Detroit Lakes. Our Valley News Team's Cornelius Hawker spent the entire day there, and he joins us now. Cornelius, what are the organizers stressing to make sure people have a good and safe time?
Mike, there's a big one in particular, but first, you need to make sure you're getting your tickets from either Wee Fest or someone you know. Reason being, they're sent online, they look just like this, and there's a barcode right here, and once it's been scanned, it can't be scanned again.
Be careful about buying tickets on Craigslist or from somebody that you don't know, because you don't really know if it's the first ticket they printed and the only ticket, or if they're trying to scam and make a buck.
Organizers are also stressing staying cool and hydrated will not only ensure you're having a good time, but it can keep you alive. This might sound like a no-brainer, but incidents happen every year, which proves people need a reminder.
It's hot, you have to replenish your system with water. Alcohol will remove the hydration from your system, where water replenishes it and keeps you healthy.
Organizers also say that traffic should cut down after tomorrow because everyone that's going to be coming here should be in by, wouldn't you say, 2 o'clock? 2 o'clock. Mike, back to you.
All right, thanks, Cornelius, reporting live from Wee Fest. The headliners start Thursday night. Featured this year are Eric Church, Kid Rock, and Tim McGraw. Traffic will get busy again on Sunday when the campers head home from the music festival. Whether it's WeFest or anywhere outdoors, you need to stay hydrated. Let's check in with Hutch on how challenging temps will be tonight. Hutch?
Well, it is very hot out there, but we've lost quite a bit of the humidity across the region, so it's a little bit more comfortable out there, even with the high temperatures. If you are heading to WeFest, the biggest hitch in the giddy-up weather-wise will be on Wednesday night. The line of thunderstorms tomorrow could be strong to severe. My estimated time of arrival to the Lakes Country will be between 8 and 10 o'clock. We'll keep our eyes on the skies there. A few of those storms could be hail producers. For this evening, the radar extremely quiet. Temperatures in the upper 80s now. It looks like quiet conditions will persist with nary a cloud in sight for Fargo, Fergus Falls, or Grand Forks tonight.
It's been a nice inside where the air conditioning has kept us cool today.
It is nice.
All right, thanks. Well, police are looking for help in finding 2 attempted robbery suspects. They say the victim was approached around 2 this morning by 2 acquaintances of his in the 1000 block of University Avenue in Grand Forks. Now, the 2 men are white. One has brown hair and was wearing a blue T-shirt at the time with tattoos on both arms. The other guy is blonde and was wearing a white hat and white shirt. They left the area in a white passenger car in an unknown direction. No weapons were involved, but the victim says that he was injured during the mugging. If you have any information, contact the Grand Forks Police Department. 29-year-old Brock Stroman from Crookston is back in jail for violating conditions of his release. Stroman is waiting trial on a first-degree manslaughter charge in connection with a Christmas Day bar fight that killed John Torres. Stroman was arrested in Crookston on Sunday for a DWI charge. He remains there in jail. Earlier in July, he was arrested in a Red Lake Falls bar for being intoxicated and posted a $4,000 bond after that particular arrest. Efforts continue in Washington, D.C. to help opioid addiction in the state. North Dakota U.S. Senator John Hoeven introduced a measure to close a loophole allowing synthetic drug variations to be sold when labeled not for human consumption. The senator says this legislation is part of our effort to combat the opioid epidemic, and what it does is that it makes sure that knockoff drugs that are harmful scheduled drugs can't be sold by circumventing the law. North Dakota lawmakers are back at work for a special session in Bismarck. Governor Jack Dalrymple getting it started, calling for a plan to reduce a $310 million deficit. Democratic legislators are pointing fingers at the Republicans for creating the state's budget mess. Republicans led the charge to cut North Dakota's oil extraction tax from 6.5% to 5%. That eliminated an estimated $200 million of revenue from the current budget, which is about 2/3 of the budget problem.
I could see no reason for us to voluntarily reduce that tax and just voluntarily sacrifice and give it. Most states wouldn't do that. So, yeah, I think we volunteered for this financial mess.
Governor Dalrymple says North Dakota Human Services will be spared from any more cuts, but most state institutions and agencies will be facing a 2.5% cut in their budget. Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. It's a sight you certainly don't see every day. Later on Valley News Live at 6, the Kinsler House moves to a new location.
Sizzling warm temperatures as we head into the evening hours tonight. It looks very quiet, but Wednesday will bring a few weather wiggles. I'll have details on some severe weather potential coming up right after this.